Raped by 3 Muslims refugees, gets brutal surprise. Rachel Maddow proved just how disgusting she really is by attacking a 6-year-old disabled girl on live TV, who was gang raped by 3 refugees. They were found guilty, but that didn't stop Maddow from glorifying refugees at the expense of the little, disabled girl. Maddow's so sick, her goal was to make crazy accusations about Donald Trump, but it backfired as the MSNBC host got a brutal surprise. This will truly blow your mind. In June 2016, 3 Muslim youths, one aged 14, the other 2 reported to be 7 and 10 years old, lured a 5-year-old, now 6-year-old, disabled girl into a laundry room in Twin Falls, Idaho. The 14-year-old videoed while the other 2 anally penetrated her, orally penetrated her, and urinated on her. An elderly nurse saw the boys and the disabled girl go into the laundry room and witnessed some of the heinous act when she went to investigate. The video was also clear: these boys had gang-raped this little girl. Immediately, citizens of Twin Falls went into action, and the case became known across the nation, much to the dismay of leftist politicians and the liberal media. Breitbart sent Lee Stranahan to Twin Falls to investigate, where he found activist Julie Ruff, one of the leaders of the patriot group called We the People, who was supporting the disabled girl and her family. Right away Stranahan noticed there was a cover-up going on. Barack Obama appointed U.S. Attorney Wendy Olson made a statement that appeared to threaten local activists with legal action for expressing their concern if that speech contained false information, reported Breitbart. Julie Ruff and other local activists were stopped by the U.S. Attorney and local officials, threatened with arrest if they spoke out about the case. Fast forward to the court case in June 2017. Pamela Geller reported, Sharia law in Idaho. The 3 Muslim refugee boys who plead guilty in the heinous sexual attack of a 5-year-old girl in Idaho were sentenced yesterday, June 6, 2017. No jail time. The judge barred everyone in the courtroom, including the victim's own parents, from speaking about the case and threatened anyone with serious consequences if they violated his edict. Unheard of. After another sexual assault by a Muslim refugee happened in Twin Falls, Stranahan asked, 2 recent sexual assaults by Muslims in this community of about 50,000 people have made national headlines and raised a wider question: why are the refugees in Twin Falls in the first place? Stranahan continued, the simplest part of the answer is that Muslim refugees are being used as cheap replacements for the middle-class Americans who want to work in Twin Falls' government-boosted food processing industry. Chobani Yogurt is the biggest of those employers, owned by a Muslim. This is why the U.S. Attorney and the Twin Falls City Council lied to reporters and banned free speech in the rape case of the disabled girl. Now, Rachel Maddow has gotten involved after a New York Times hit piece lied and smeared the disabled girl and her family. Maddow had Caitlin Dickerson of the New York Times on her show, who wrote an article with the headline, How Fake News Turned a Small Town Upside Down. Dickerson claims Breitbart lied and there was no gang rape. She claims it was just a 5-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy involved in a sexual assault. Dickerson alleged, this was just an incident between 2 kids. She backed the lying Twin Falls officials and the U.S. Attorney, saying they were the victims and that the townspeople were cowering in fear due to the fake news reporting that Muslims refugees were taking over the town. Finally, the liberal loons get Russian spies helping President Donald Trump win the election. Everything with Maddow has to be about the Trump-Russia conspiracy, right? You can't even make this stuff up. Maddow wanted to make sure everyone knew that Lee Stranahan, the former Breitbart reporter who covered this story, was now a radio host at Sputnik in Washington, D.C. Sputnik is a leftist radio station, and Stranahan is the only Trump supporter working there. Here's the kicker, Dickerson and Maddow then say the activists, like Julie Ruff, and the other grassroots patriot groups who were involved in helping the disabled girl's family were really Russian operatives. Stranahan explains it all here. Lying New York Times reporter at its Caitlin gives #fake news account of child sex crime to @Maddow, Lee Stranahan. Who can make this stuff up? It's totally unbelievable and sick. Well, Lee Stranahan isn't standing for these lies. He is exposing Caitlin Dickerson, and as such Rachel Maddow, who gave her airtime, as a lying unethical journalist who tried to smear the poor disabled girl. He calls for the New York Times to fire her immediately. The leftist judge issued a gag order to the family and anyone involved in the case, but why? Because one American little girl isn't as important as keeping those Muslim refugees rolling into our communities, and they certainly don't want the proof out there that the mainstream media was wrong, and the fake news, alternative media actually presented the story more accurately than the MSM. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.